Okay, boys and girls,
live.
we wet the bed. Very exciting. So, guys,
Yes, yet again.
Really annoying, folks. Let's get into it.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Okay, folks.
All right.
Wet the bed seems to be our MO at this point. So very exciting.
0-2.
0-2. Very exciting, guys. What's the stats on coming down to winning or making even the playoffs at this point? An 0-2. I can't remember what it is. It's pretty bad.
It's low. It's low, sure, but yeah, I mean, hey, we still got 15 games to go. So I mean, we can turn things around.
Yeah.
It's a low percentage though at this point, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it's a bad way to start the season. Let's just say that.
I mean, just
11%.
the whole thing of
11%. That's what it is. 11%.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean,
that's the statistic. Mhm.
coming out of the gate, stumbling. It's funny because like the hype to this team seemed to be so real with him, but at the same side, it's kind of like the San Diego Padres. They have this dynamic team, this team that has so much talent and just can't find a way to put it together. And it is frustrating.
It is
to see what is going on with this team. I mean,
yeah,
we
folks.
could go through the slides, and we got some slides that we're going to jump through and just talk about some of the positives, and then we'll just talk about all that kind of went wrong. I took a ton of notes on this game.
Right.
And
11%, folks. 11%. So
yeah,
30 questions out, guys. We got some slides. I know James has got a ton of notes. We are obviously pissed off at this moment. So as you all are. So again, that's kind of why we want to go while we're pissed. So at the end of the day, let's get into it. So Thule looked good.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about him, James, a little bit. And
I mean, man, the thing about it is he's got
two
juice in his
Jameses
legs.
here. Hold on. Go ahead.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
Kyle.
Hey,
Kyle.
all right. Sorry about that.
There we go.
By the way, Kay, what's up, dude? Good chatting with you on the stream, by the way, too.
Absolutely, Kay. Good to see you.
But yeah, so it was interesting. So Thule looked great. I mean, I thought he had the juice. He was hitting Henry really hard throughout the game. Very, very much looked like we had a youthful element to our line. And why I'm saying that is that it just, Mac doesn't look like he's got that much juice on him. He seems like he's always kind of far away from the play. Thule just seemed active throughout the entire game. I mean, came up with 1 sack, 3 tackles, 3 assists, just looked really, really good. And that's a big positive of this game, in my opinion. If I'm going to view something, hey, we got a guy that could be that next guy for us. And I'm excited to be able to see him move more into this defense.
Well, and clearly that, Mac and Bosa are not going to be here next year, or at least one of them are not going to be here next year.
Right.
I mean, look at the yardage. We gave up 341 yards. We got 342 yards exact. Passing yards, 281 yards. They got 200 yards passing. Rushing yards, we did 61 yards. They did 141. Back to our old ways. Yards per play, 5.3, 5.4.
Yeah.
Really, it boiled down to third down efficiency. We were 2 and 14, folks.
That is, oof.
Oh my god.
And here's the problem: 2 and 14. That's what lost us the game completely.
Yeah.
And they were 6 for 13. Yep. And fourth down efficiency, folks. 3 out of 3 times. 3 out of 3. Amazing. 3 out of 3, guys. So it's not a Brandon Staley problem. It's not a Kellen Moore problem. It's a Brandon Staley problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Defense,
I said that wrong.
Defense has not been there at all. So
but I'll make one argument here at this point, right? So just as we hide this for just 2 seconds here, the difference is that we played a team that passed the shit out of everybody. I'm really curious to see how the Patriots play against the Dolphins tonight. It's tonight, right? They play them like later on tonight.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how they defend them. That'll be very interesting. But secondarily, I would say we played a completely different offense week 2.
Yep.
Run the ball. But man, first downs, and we did not see those 2 deep bombs coming at all. That was really weird. Very weird. Again, guys, throw your questions out as well. And you're right. Stay ready. The penalties were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, like legitimately shocking to me. Legitimately shocking to me.
Well, and just to point out one specifically, how much I love Derwin James, the 3rd and 14 penalty. That ball was dead at that point. Not necessary to torpedo at the dude's head. Get basically that penalty to targeting, I think it was. That pretty much shifted the game at that point.
Yeah.
One thing I always look in games is what are the game shifting plays, and that literally was the game shifting play.
Yep, big time.
Changed everything at that point, because what did that drive end up doing? Ended up getting a running touchdown by Tannehill. Like, that doesn't make sense. Nobody expected that at all. Like, that's what basically killed the entire game for us.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, and this guy shockingly had a pretty good game. Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, he was all over the field.
He looked pretty good. Guys, I mean, say what you want to say. I have consistently took a real shit on his head, but I'll tell you what, dude, he looks pretty good. He looked pretty good out there. I mean, he had 7 tackles, 4 assists, and a sack.
Yeah.
That sack was big, guys.
Big.
Yeah. Huge.
Anyways, Derwin James, 7 tackles, 5 assists. Yo, dude. Anyways, a lot to talk about. Keep the comments coming, and guys, and like and subscribe as well too. Again, we are pissed off as you are as well. But smash that like button, folks. It does help us, and we will get to your questions as well.
Hey, positive note though, I'm going to say once again, guys, thanks for all the support in the channel. By the way, we're over 2K subs now.
Woo!
So
Yep.
We want to thank you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a positivity there, guys.
We got a positive for us.
Subs.
That's right. We got 2K,
so we'll
baby.
Take that, and we appreciate you guys' support through the good times and a lot of the bad times. We have gone through this. So, guys, it's wild. But yeah, Kenneth,
you know what? Right now, I think this is a group therapy session for us. I think
this is a group therapy session. It is.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. So
100%. It's a group therapy session right now. We are basically just trying to talk through it. Hey, I use this as an outlet to be able to talk Chargers all the time to you guys. So hey, we're here together, guys.
Yeah, we all need to stick this together.
This is the best comment ever. I'll smash the like button when the Chargers make a clutch play to win a game. I mean, I don't understand. That was pretty bad. I mean, that was rough. Yeah. That was rough to see, guys. Kenneth Murray had a good game. Herbert looked good too, though, folks. Herbert was 305 yards, 27 for 41, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad. He did great in my fantasy league. I drafted him 4th overall. Probably a mistake, but whatever. I did it anyways. It is what it is. But Joshua Kelly, I was going to play him today. Glad I didn't. 13 for 39. Yeah. Yo, those guys got some freaking button gut assholes on the line that just know how to stop people, dude. And it is what it is, dude. So they did a good job.
Yeah, we knew that they had a solid defensive front line, group there, So yeah.
Well, and the one thing too about this with Herbert, he did what I think he needed to do, but at the same side, I do think that Kellen Moore was not attacking the weaknesses of this team.
I agree a little bit.
They did not attack downfield. I could only think maybe of 3 passes, maybe 2 that were kind of downfield. 1 possibly completed, which was a Keenan Allen catch that was downfield. We're not attacking their cornerbacks that are out, which, he's gone. And then also, oh my gosh, their safety. What was his name? Titans depth chart. Hold on one second.
The backup safety, you mean, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously he's gone. And then you got, it was Kristen Fulton was gone and Amari Hooker was gone. When I look at that, I say, hey, look, go after those guys. Attack who their backups are. I know Roger McCrary was in the game, and he has a very good track record as a veteran guy for getting picks and everything like that. But dude, attack those guys. You should target those players. And seemed like he just did not want Kellen Moore to try to throw the ball downfield for the longest time. It was one solid drive that eventually got us to go up 21-17 with that Keenan Allen touchdown, where they started attacking the middle of the field. I thought the game-changing play at that point to favor the Chargers was the Stone Smart 24-yard catch.
That was amazing.
Great catch. And then right after that, Gerald Everett caught a great catch, high-effort catch all around. He was just grinding to try to get as many yards as he possibly can. And that's the whole thing. You know what? Like, those are the plays that should change the momentum of the game. And then we ended up getting into this battle of 3 and outs at that point.
Yeah.
And it just favored the Titans at that point. And it's a very, very frustrating thing to watch, because me as a guy, a quarterback couch rider, something or other OC guy, I'm like, look, I can see the things you need to do and you're not doing it. And then when you start doing it, it works. Like, come on, guys. Like, you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league with Justin Herbert. You got some of the best wide receivers in the league right now. What is going on? What is going on?
Well, and I again, it's not just one thing, right? And again, I do feel like a lot of the decisions we made offensively were okay, not great.
Yep.
But we didn't execute well. And I mean, the run game was non-existent. Well, then just air it out then, like air the damn ball out, I mean, this guy had a monster game.
Big game.
Keenan Allen,
huge game.
Like 8 receptions for 111 yards, average 14 yards a throw, 2 touchdowns.
Longest,
hell, he might have
42 yards, longest. Yeah, he did good.
Yeah. Mike Williams did great, folks, right?
Yeah.
8 for 83, right? And so now I will give you one argument, though. I'll say this. Why aren't we using Quentin Johnson a little more, right? Like, why did Mike Williams do the sweep that we did like early on in the first quarter? Quentin Johnson's faster. Why isn't Darius David had one sweep, jet sweep, but I kind of felt like that was a little weird that we didn't continue moving that direction. Little tough, folks. A little tough.
Yep. Very much so. And I mean, the offense, in my opinion, was there. I do think that there was some silly choices by Kellen Moore. I think there was a 3rd and 4, and you could have probably just passed it. And it was late in the game, and we decided to run it up the gut and basically get stuffed. Like, there's little things that I'm like, it was the 7th possession of the Chargers. He had basically a rush on 3rd and 4, 3 and out, basically at that point. Like, why are you going on a 3rd and 4 on a rush? Like, you're trying to get momentum here, guys. Like, you're trying to get the ball downfield. You're in a critical point of the game where you could potentially put this baby to bed.
Yep. And
you don't. Like, you're playing soft football at that point. So it is a lot of things that I'm kind of watching a lot with Moore that I don't know, man. Like, there's something that he's not doing right here. It's funny going from training camp. I feel like training camp, there was a lot of talks of like, hey, we're going to throw the ball downfield. We're going to throw the ball downfield. I don't feel like we're throwing the ball downfield. Like, it's almost like we're concerned more about the run game, less than the pass game. And I get it. You don't want to throw the ball 60 times a game. I mean, your chances of winning is very low at that point. But we need to find a way to be able to utilize Herbert in a way that he could just flourish with this offense. And it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah. I would bring these two guys up here as well, too. Khalil Mack has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's looked terrible out there. But Joey Bosa, we had 3 sacks this game, I think, is what we had?
5.
We had 2. We had 5 as a team.
We had 5 as a 2. Yeah. And we had 8 tackles for a loss. So,
which is amazing. Which
great.
We should win the game with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like it's kind of interesting game management. That's an issue at this moment, right? And again, it's rough. Like, you got to ask yourself these questions, like, why is this happening? Why? Hold on. Whoops. I think one of us hit it. Okay, here we go. Why play for a field goal? Tie every time, never playing to win, just not to lose. And that's true.
Agreed.
Like, we kind of struggled with that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Now, okay, if there is a positive, folks, you have to remember it really boils down to us winning our division games, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, it's important that we win our division games. We beat up the Queefs, we beat up the the Broncos, and we beat up the Raiders, right? If we could beat those guys up, then we'll be fine. But
then at the same time, these games are also important because they're conference games.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
And it does also matter for playoffs as well. So
correct.
I mean,
correct.
yeah, like as far as the hierarchy goes, division's top and conference second, and then out of conference third,
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
So,
okay.
But winning is winning.
Winning is winning.
We have to win. Yeah.
One thing I was going to say too, I mean, we're going up against next week the 0-2 Vikings team that's going to be desperate just as much as us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, buckle up, boys.
Vikings like to throw the ball. They're a good offense. They're a good offense.
Yeah.
Buckle up, dude, because this is what's going to happen, guys. We're going to go through the same motions next week, dude. It's like, I was in the chat basically for the stream on NFL Sunday Ticket, and I was just saying, guys, this is what the Chargers fans deal with every single game, every single year. It's just nothing's easy for this team ever.
Right.
Nothing's ever easy. And we all got heart problems here, guys. High blood pressure. We are all going through it, guys. But, one thing I'm going to say as a positive from this game, and it's something I quite observed early on in the game. We talked about this as a strategy. Put Thule in the inside of the D-line with Bosa and Mack on the outside. And they did that 4 times, and they were successful 4 times doing
every
that,
time,
ending the drive or
like
getting a sack. And I don't know why you didn't do that. There was one drive. It was, let me see here. I wrote it down on the 10th. Okay. It was the 10th possession by the Titans. And that led to the touchdown by the Titans.
Yep.
They played soft. They played soft to just basically kind of put like a zone situation versus like play the attack situation that was working for you throughout the game. Like, I don't even know if I saw, and I want to watch a replay on the game. They didn't even try to attack during that drive. It was just like zone, done. You basically got them to be able to score a touchdown to go 3 points on you, force us to get a field goal. You can't do that. Do what works. Go back to that Thule Mack Bosa combo.
And they ran a lot of stunts with it too. That's what I noticed. So Thule would go this way, and then Bosa would stunt in the inside.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: Bosa looked good when he was out there. Which thank God, right? I was concerned he wasn't going to be able to play at all, and he did great. I mean, I was very impressed. Brevin Allen did get a couple snaps. By the way, there was an interesting statistic I said about this. Just a complete side note: Brevin Allen's the first Campbell ever to play in the NFL. First ever.
Wow.
So the fact that he was actually out there at all was pretty cool. So I thought that was kind of an interesting statistic. So, okay, guys, so we're going to get to your questions now.
And by the way, I did put a poll up there just now. Is that will we see somebody get fired at the bye week?
Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Good thought, guys.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I mean, like, look, this is now Staley's 3rd year here, and I don't know. I kind of feel like that we've had probably the worst. I realized that I'm good. I realized we probably had one of the worst defenses that I've ever seen with the Chargers. These past 3 years. So, like, every single game has been so close, and I put in the chat too that we have now lost 4 straight games. Within 3 points. Within 3 points of each game. So
4 straight.
4 straight.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're all super close games, and we just collapse at the
So and it's a great point you brought up that.
Wow, that's a great point, Kyle.
Quite a bit about that too before this game of there is essentially like a hangover potentially happening here,
right?
And it's the same way Anthony Lynn ended up getting fired, by the way, too. It was a lot of close games. What the nail in the coffin was for him is if we see, say, for instance, we go to Minnesota next week and we just get destroyed.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably going to really push that button even further to where we'll see, man. I mean, I like Brandon Staley, but I mean, the whole thing of it is like you can only blame the players so much because there's also a strategy during the game to make the players do certain plays. And it's starting to really build up. I mean, there has got to be a turnaround next week. This is an absolute must to save this season.
We have one of the most expensive defenses in the league.
Exactly.
Right. And we are the worst defense in the league. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
How is so annoying.
So that's a problem. Okay, so let's go to some questions, guys. I know you guys are throwing out. There's 200 comments that are just coming through.
We're just blowing through.
Where they're going.
Let's go through these guys. Okay,
let's get into it. Yeah.
I know we're venting, folks. Just so you know, we're venting. So I mean, I'm just saying. Okay, so maybe James, you want to take care of this question real quick for Get It Together?
Yeah,
which
get
would
it
have been
together.
nice for us to do today. Yeah.
Chargers need to get it together for sure. Can we fire the coach already? There's no reason to not go for it at the end of the regulation. We had 3 timeouts in the red zone and 1 minute to go. And there's a lot of times that I've seen where the Chargers seem to just be like, well, we'll give up the play here or not go for it on 4th down. I think that 2-point conversion that we ended up doing early on in the game was completely irrelevant because then we ended up kicking a field goal after that just to even up the score to 14. I feel you go for a 2-point to make the score very odd at that point.
Yeah.
Right? And you decided to go for 3 to even it up to 14, 2 touchdowns, or at least at that time, I think it was 1 touchdown at that time. Yeah. It just didn't make sense. And I think you needed to be more aggressive. And I agree. I think we could have been more aggressive at that time. Yeah. What really boiled down to this loss was just those costly penalties, specifically that Derwin James one was a game changer because that was the end of that drive. Done. They were going to punt the ball to us. That ended up as a touchdown. So, I'll say this, guys. We're not far off, but I hate having these heart attack games.
Yeah.
I hate having these heart attack games.
That game should have been put away. That game should have been put away. It shouldn't even been a game. Like I felt like we got a little soft at the second half. Second quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter, we got a little soft. Yep. We started running the ball like crazy. And Isaiah Spiller, I have no clue. I think he had 2 carries?
He had 1 carry. 1 carry this game. Yeah.
That's bad, dude. Like
I don't get it.
Understand that.
I don't get it. Hey guys, by the way, there's a lot of people in the chat. Hey, we'd love it if you guys subscribe to the channel. We're over 2K subs now. But we'd love to be able to keep you guys informed on all daily Chargers content over here. We'll go through the good and bad with you guys all the time. So
all the time. Hey, we are here to lick our wounds. Now, by the way, stay ready. Good point. QJ should have gotten more passes. I don't know what happened there.
I'll lick my own wounds. I'm not going to lick your wounds though. So like just
yeah.
Let's keep it hygienic. Let's keep it hygienic.
Yeah.
Maybe those wounds.
COVID's still a thing, right?
Yeah. Maybe those wounds will just get a little bit more, pampering to them if they talk to us, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about this. Herbert seems to be a little off right now. I don't really know why, and it's weird. The thing that's interesting, though, is you notice he audibled a lot this game, which I thought was good.
He did.
But it was a little strange to see. He was just off. I don't know if I think part of the audibling too, where that's a good and a bad thing, is like, hey, like he's audibling, and these other guys got to make choices moving forward. They got to make sure they are on the same page as Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, I think, this is a go, and he's like, this is a post. And they might be a little off of that audible. So, tough.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I mean, once again, I keep harping on this, man. It's not a bad thing to play a little bit in preseason. I think there's just little things that they could work on. And, there is rustiness to this team. And I think the big thing about it is there is a little bit of a hangover happening with this team right now. And we got to start fast and finish is not happening right now. It is just not finding a way to finish, period. And we had chances in this game to finish.
Yeah. What was that shirt we were talking about? Start fast and finish, or what was it called? What was that again?
Oh yeah, I got that. It's up in the store. We can
do
yeah. Start fast and finish, just like my dating life. That's great. How many chances did we put this game away? I'm telling you right now, we should have put this game away like 5 times. 5 times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I literally thought so many times we should have put these babies to bed. I don't. look, the reality is this is where good teams make decisions to go for it and win, and we just didn't. And then DJ made a bad play. Yeah, and again, I still don't understand why QJ wasn't out there more. It was so weird to me. Like he was out there quite a few times, and he created separations, but I don't understand why we're not throwing to him now. Again, that's on Herbert, but it also means that he's probably on the 4th slot, maybe the 4th or 5th read, yada yada. Get the ball out fast. But again, and again, right now they're not showing it, right? But I'll say this: we should now. Okay, Beardville, this is a good point. If we go 0-5 into the bye, then yes, this is probably an end of Brandon Staley's era at that 100%. Point. Because then what they could easily do, they can move our boy offensive coordinator Kellen Moore to the head coaching position, move him up, and then Derek Ainsley takes over. Easy transition.
I mean, yeah, that could be the answer, but like I don't know, like what else? I guess that would have to be the answer, is that he would have to be an interim head coach and stuff. But I mean, is even Kellen Moore ready for the head coaching job too?
Yeah,
you know, I don't know.
Totally other idea.
It's another. I don't know if he's the guy either for it right now. I mean, yes, we obviously know that our offense is doing okay, but yeah, I don't know. I think the answer is that we need to pay for a top tier head coach. I mean, it's unfortunate that Sean Payton is no longer available because he would be the guy in a lot of ways. I mean, I know he needs $10-18 million a year. You know what? But
$20 million a year.
Yeah.
They're wasting money on him. Don't get me wrong. He's not worth $20 million a year.
Yeah.
There are very few coaches worth that much money. I don't understand. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say one thing about that too, with top tier coaches. Like, so I mean, this is college football. I was at the Arizona State game last night against Fresno State. Arizona State got rolled. Didn't even score a point. 9 turnovers.
Whoa, are you serious?
9 turnovers, I think, on 13 possessions. Dude, it was ugly. People were sitting in the stands watching the Colorado State game while being in the stadium, just sitting there streaming it on their phones. Now, if you watch that game, that Colorado State game, woof, that was a game.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Coaches make a big difference on how a team operates, how their mentality is, how they could get past certain situations and find a way to win. And last year, Colorado was 1-11. This year, they're 3-0. And they found a way last night to win that game.
Wow.
With basically the last little bit of trying to get that game to OT and found a way to win that one. Absolutely one of the most amazing games ever. Deion Sanders has such a great mind, in my opinion. He's a motivator, massive motivator.
Oh, yeah.
And he could connect with people. I mean, he already talked about how he doesn't want to go to the NFL because he doesn't want to coach some 20, 30-year-old multimillionaire kids that don't listen to you.
Yeah.
But, dude, we got to find a way to be able to get this team really, really rolling. Like, you have all the talent in the world right now, guys. Like, there is something just missing with this team to be able to get it to that next level. Because this is, once Andrew said, it's like we're the most expensive defense in the league, and we're not performing like
by a
very
long
expensive
shot. By a long shot, guys. Like it's bad. I mean, J.C. Jackson, was he even out there the second half? I don't even know if he was.
There. He was there a little bit too. He was on actually on DeAndre Hopkins when I think he got the catch late in the game to basically.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And
they were rotating him in and out. Yes,
they were rotating him. They were probably snap counting him, probably giving him certain quarters off, just checking his knee and such too. But guys, I mean, coaches make a big difference on a team and makes a massive, massive difference to the team. And I love Brandon Staley, but right now, this is the way I'm going to put it as we're a Ferrari body with a Honda Civic engine in it. And, it's we got to find a way to be able to just get this Ferrari built in with a nice Ferrari engine in there. Because, I mean, we should be rolling teams. We should be rolling teams, and we're not.
Yeah. And it's not good. Not good at all.
The 2-minute drill was pretty bad. I was a little frustrated with the way we called plays there. Now, again, I will say this. You got to remember something. Kellen Moore is allowing Justin Herbert to audible as much as he wants indefinitely. He goes up there. There's 4 or 5 plays called. He can check out. You saw him audible a ton. So maybe it's something he's doing. He may be checking out of the wrong play, or maybe the other team members are not figuring it out. What was that last play? It was like our last third down. They were completely confused. Nobody knew where to go. And then Herbert just chucked it up in the air. And I'm like, okay, clearly nothing was communicated to the wide receivers of where to go. That was a problem.
And we've had a couple of those where it's like, it just seems like people are not on the same page all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's, there's something that needs to get situated here. Yeah.
Good comment.
No joke, Keel, man. It's like, it's almost more fun to just sit here and chat with you guys about it versus like, watch the dang game. It's
therapy session.
Stress, I think.
I mean, to be honest, like I've actually learned to really enjoy the tailgates more than the games a lot of times. I mean, because truth is, the tailgate never loses. That's the bottom line. So you go to that thing, you have a good time. Just whatever. The game. That's just the sauce. Like, I mean, hey. Yeah.
Oh, Jason.
Oh, Jason.
Thanks, man.
What's
really
up?
appreciate the donation there and everything too, man. But yeah, let's go over your comment here. This team will never be successful with Staley. He's proven he doesn't know how to close games out and never will. I mean, we kind of went over that right now. I mean, one stat that I kept thinking about is that Justin Herbert, when our defense gives up to 28 points, he's like 19-4. Well, now 19-5.
Right.
Yep.
There's too many close games that we keep losing. And too many ways that we're making errors at the wrong time. There's a little coaching up on this too. Now, I guess, and I understand it's milliseconds that you have to make a decision and all that. But, it's people make boneheaded mistakes at the wrong time. And that's what's killing this team right now. Mentally, I think there's got to be a preparation. Going back to Deion Sanders, watching the stream last night, when the game was it was the last drive Colorado State had. What was Deion Sanders still doing on the sideline when if his defense makes a stop, the game is over with? He's still coaching up his quarterback. He's still telling him, like, be ready. You got to be out there and get things going. Don't get your head out of this game. Like, focus on it. Like, I don't know if Brandon Staley does enough of that. Like, I don't know if he's really giving people the right mentality here. So, man, I love Brandon Staley, but it's getting hard. It's getting hard.
So here's the thing. This is actually what lost us the game. Take a wild guess on how much time of possession the Tennessee Titans had. 41 minutes of that game was their ball. Yeah. And we had 28 minutes. Guys, I remember saying this to my buddy the other day, or I was watching the game with a few friends, and I said, Tennessee wants an ugly game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They want Herbert off the field and getting cold and not having the ability to work with his teammates on the sidelines. And that's exactly what they got, guys. That's exactly what they got. So, yep. And so that was the difference of the game. And again, they took away the ability for Herbert to be successful. So, look, again, we got beat by a team last week because they just run and gunned us like crazy and just beat our secondary. This game, they took the ball out of Herbert's hands, and our defense couldn't stop what they were doing. Yeah. And they eliminated or at least eliminated how many possessions our offense would have to beat that team.
Yeah.
Guys, you could lose in a lot of different ways, and Chargers seem to find very creative ways to lose.
It's wild to think that we only had the ball for 28 minutes, but still was able to score 24 points. Like,
bro,
that's pretty insane to be able to see something like that. But guys, man, it's getting tough, man. It's getting tough to watch this. It's getting real tough.
So, and again, pressure is on Moore, but I think right now it really falls to the head coach. I mean, there's more pressure on Brandon Staley than it is on anybody else. He's the head coach.
Yeah, well, he's eventually going to be the one that gets cut, right? And that's the thing. Like, if he's the one that goes first, and then everything else kind of tumbles from there.
And Brandon Staley's talking right now, so I can't hear what he's saying. That's okay. Go ahead.
He's probably just making up excuses right now. So
we got to execute better, all the above.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't. It was my fault all the way. Okay, so I actually just did a little bit of math, stuff right here. So of those last 4 games that we actually just lost, the Dolphins game, this game, Jacksonville Broncos game from last season, we fall apart in the second half every single time.
Every time, and
we're outscored 69-40 in the second half.
Oof! Wow, are you serious? 69-40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And honestly, like we always lose momentum in that last little bit of the first half. Every single time we've given up a little, 7 points on average on the second quarter. We do not finish games. This is the problem, and we actually talked about that, Fred Warner talked about how like they just figured us out by the second half, and it locked us up,
And I was going to bring up that Niners game because I mean we were doing really well first half, second half just stopped, and going back to the drive that I pointed out, I think it was the Titans' 9th drive, I believe it was. I think it was the 9th. No. It was the 10th drive that they had. We started playing more zone and soft. Once again, that Thule, Mac, Bosa on the line, highly effective. Yep. Find a way to finish games. You finish games that way. You finished 3 previous drives doing that same thing. Do it again. Tannehill is a pocket passer. You don't allow him to basically throw 70-yard bombs on us. He's got two big explosive plays that basically killed us. Like Tannehill looked dead in the water early on in this game. We were killing him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And nope. Changes up. Whatever happens, we basically end up making a lot of errors and we just end up killing ourselves.
Yeah. So Herbert, look, I've always said this though too. If there's one thing I can say about the offense, I feel like it takes, again, this is a new offense, folks. All new calls, all new plays, all new ideas, all new everything for everybody on that offensive side of the ball. I think it takes 4 weeks for the team to really figure things out. We have a freaking hard schedule, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Nobody in the NFL gives a shit that we have a hard schedule. It doesn't matter because every team is hard. But my point is, at the end of the day, we still got to win, right? We still have to win, right? And again, look, Justin Herbert, he did enough to win. Okay, it wasn't on Herbert.
No.
But I do think that, I mean, couldn't open holes. There's a lot of things to talk about, right? So GTR man talks about running plans. I don't know. I mean, I think there's plenty of. I mean, we scored 34 points last week. We scored 24 this week. Yeah. That's a lot of points in the NFL. That's plenty of points. So I think we're fine. It's just, dude, the defense I can't understand.
Yeah,
I think it's really the defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we also flipped the script 100%. On what we performed for the Dolphins. We had a stellar rush offense, and we had a stellar rush defense. But now we had a terrible rush offense and a also pretty terrible rush defense.
Yeah,
because they rushed for over 141 yards, and we did for 61 yards. So, I mean, is that because Eckler wasn't here? I mean, clearly Eckler is the best running back that we have on the team.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Staley, again, I said this, what was it, our pregame, that sometimes I worry that he is he's overly complicating the defense that people are confused on where they need to be. Right. I mean, I could show you this, again, I could show you this slide from week 1 that is very telling right here. Let me just pull it up real quick. This just shows you that week 1, clearly our defense did not know where the hell we were supposed to go, right? Look at this right here.
Right.
These 2 guys were release free. Kendricks is in the middle, and then Derwin and Darius Davis call the guy that's running through the middle. That's bad, dude. Luckily, too, it was looking to the opposite side of these 2 open receivers. But my point is,
right,
Kellen was fine. I think our defense is what's been the problem, right? And, we don't have button gut on the defensive line to stop the run. And, dude, that guy, they ran all over us, man. I don't know. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, this is a great comment right here. Was it Blazell 50? Kellen Moore is in question. Why was Williams in motion when you have Davis or Johnston? And that was probably that sweep play too. I was thinking like that's kind of an odd choice. Like, I know Mike Williams has some speed, but I don't look at him as like an open field, like scary guy, I guess, in a sense. Like he's kind of one of those guys where he's got some speed, but he's just, dude, Darius Davis will just fly past people if he has open field. Like, that's the guy that should have been out there. I understand you want to try something a little different, but I don't know, man. You're getting a little cute. You're getting a little cute, man. Getting a little cute.
Honestly, like we thought that we were kind of eliminated our Dumbardi like play calling. I mean, because this goes into the same situation. Why are we using Mike Williams as a jet sweep guy when we got Darius Davis, who's clearly a better jet sweep guy? You know, and he's like the fast dude, and he made like 3 touchdowns as a college career doing that.
Well,
So
the argument would be that you have to, if you're putting someone in motion like that, you have to rotate who you put in motion in the way he does it.
Sure.
Because it's like, okay, well, are they going to run it or not? And then they want that split second so they can go the opposite direction or whatever. Don't get me wrong, it makes sense. But look at what the Dolphins did. They didn't care. They had Tyreek Hill run it every single time.
Yep.
I mean, how does that guy not man? You know, anyways. But yeah, we have played Tim, and I agree with you on that. Gold Teeth, you're a Falcons fan, huh?
Nice.
Join the Chargers week 2 against Dallas 21. Every loss, I hear from the Falcons.
Hey,
look, we got the team.
Yep. And here's the thing. Okay, so I just entered the poll. Looks like above 55% that people believe that someone's going to get fired by the end of the bye week. So
look, it could happen. It could happen. The one thing I would say is this: is everyone in that locker room loves Brandon Staley. At least it seems that way. Spanos family likes Staley, but guys, it's a pretty easy transition. You let Staley go, you elevate Kellen Moore, Derek Ainsley takes over. It's a pretty simple transition.
Yeah.
And I remember when he hired Kellen Moore, I thought, ooh, that could be really good for Staley or really bad for Staley, because that's an easy situation for him to just elevate him to the head coaching role. Yep. Done deal, dude. Done deal.
Super
chat.
This
one's for you. Jason threw out another donation, $9.99, man. Appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate it. But this one's for you, Andrew.
Okay. Grew up in San Diego, transplant and Salt. Hey, what up? Hey, that's me. Hey, let's get together. I live in Salt Lake. Transplant Salt Lake. Staley making it not easy to purchase the NFL package. Napoleon has no respect for fans and some players. Eckler, great show. You all know football well. Thank you so much, Jason. Hey, man. Let's get together, dude. Like, I'm literally out here, bro. So let's get together. Let's go grab a bite to eat and talk football, man. Anytime.
Yeah. You guys do a little watch party and stuff together. It'll be pretty exciting.
Hey, you come over to my house, brother. We cooked up burgers and everything like that. It was awesome.
Nice.
So
Sunday ticket over there too already. So you good.
Sunday
you
ticket,
good, man.
Sunday
ticket. Man. Yep. We good.
Just hang out with Andrew.
Yep.
That's right. Dope. Okay. So again, we did talk about this a little bit, but I just want to make sure, look, why is Williams running motion again? I think switching things up, and again, this is another good point. Thule is clearly going to replace either Mack or Bosa. I would assume whoever is actually more healthy at the end of the year will stay. Yeah. The other person will be gone. And I also think Williams or Allen, one of those two guys will be gone, if not both of them, which is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Dang.
That'd be wild. It's man, I'm going into this and thinking we're going to be playing against another 0-2 team in Minnesota. I think last time we played the Vikings.
Wow.
We did not play well against them too.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, Eric Kendricks, you hope that he's going to come out there and feel a little bit better about himself. He'll be healthy, but dude, guys, man.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with this right now.
Well, it's going to be tough, guys. I mean, dude, I'll tell you guys, look, and again, you're right, Beardy Verlin, we've got to focus on, look, the secondary has not looked great, and that's on the defensive coordinator, and that's Brandon Staley, right? I don't know. I get a little nervous. I know we're doing a lot of this. We're repeating ourselves pretty heavily here.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, but the thing about it is that
we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all just here just venting pretty much at this point. Yeah. But the thing about it is we gave up 2 big explosive plays. Last week we gave up 7 over 25 explosive plays.
Yep.
It keeps repeating itself, and that is not a trend you want to keep going into this season. You need to find a way to be able to create pressure or bat a pass down. Obviously, easier said than done, but we got to stop that. We have got to find a way to stop that.
Yeah, Heavy Chevy guy, this is a great comment. In the NFL, it's not always about, explosive plays matter, but you have to remember, they played an ugly football game. Again, they had the ball 41 minutes. We had it for 28 minutes. That is time away from Herbert, our running game, our offensive line, our ability to even move the ball downfield. And that's what they did. If you noticed, I don't know if you noticed this or not, I counted this down. They consistently chewed the clock every time they snapped the ball. Every time. Yep. They wanted to eliminate the clock, and they wanted to, no matter what, keep their defense, not tired for the fourth quarter. And because look, they understood that Herbert can just kill him.
Yeah.
But man, it boiled down to possession, time of possession. That's what killed us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I keep
so this actually isn't even updated, but I'm looking at like percentages of getting to the playoffs or whatever and everything. I found this chart where it's back when we were 0-1, we had a 1% chance to get to the Super Bowl at that point. But the Raiders at that point had 7% chance to get to the Super Bowl. Now,
nice.
There's a comment in the chat where they're saying, hey, you guys, I think it's Marcus. It's kind of further down on the comments, but he says 2 games. I've seen this story, but you guys are delusional if you think you are somewhat concerned about, basically only 2 games in. We're like, hey, season's over with, boys. But the percentages is 11% chance right now to make the playoffs, basically.
But Gold Teeth has got a good point, right? It is 2 games in. I have always said 4 games is really what it takes. The problem is we lost momentum from last season going into this season.
Agreed.
And the argument could be, have they lost the locker room? Has Brandon Staley lost the locker room? That's the real question.
Yep.
You have to ask yourself that question. I get it. But dude, it's bad. It's bad. And again, we shouldn't have lost to the Titans. I know there's a lot to be said, but look, there's a lot to be said about this. And it's 4 games in a row we've lost, guys. And we lost spectacularly to the Jaguars last season.
Yep. Yeah.
Like in ridiculously spectacular fashion.
Right. Did not make sense.
Yeah. Makes me wonder if you want to go to the Raiders game. I will say this. If we lose next week, I'm going to tell Delta that I have COVID and I'm not going to fly out to LA. I'm sorry. I think COVID. It ain't happening.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Ain't no chance. I want to be there if the Raiders beat us, dude. I swear to God, I will kill myself. Done.
Well, okay, hang on a second. Yeah, I'll say this, and then I gotta go because I think my car repair guy is gonna be showing up right here. But
okay, good.
I think if anything, we need to discuss this instead of potentially firing Staley. Just tell him to take a step back, be a head coach only. Yeah. Let Derek Ansley take over the play calling. Let him take over everything, because maybe that's just it. Like, I like Brandon Staley. He's a great leader. He's a great coach. Look what he's done with the team from very day one that he's gotten here.
Right.
Like, we have a great team because of him and because of what he can do with Spanos and Telesco and work with them to get all these great players. But obviously, his play calling has not been the best, and what he's been doing with like the team itself has not been the best. So let's have him take just take a little bit of load off of him, and maybe we can do this stuff. But
I think it's a pretty good idea.
Exactly talking about that right there, right? I mean, why not, right? And Herbert threw for 300 yards, guys. It's not on Herbert. It's the defense, and I don't understand why it's very strange to me, because he did well with the Rams, but again, he had Aaron Donald and he also had Jalen Ramsey, and they were very healthy that 1 year. Yep. And they had enough to do really well, but unfortunately it is what it is, right? So all right, so let's keep going through some of these questions here, guys. Wow, there's 600 comments. Is that correct? That can't be correct.
It's going buck wild right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Oh, we lost Kyle. I guess he's gone. Okay.
Yep, he's out.
All right, guys. And you're right. He did not do anything spectacular at all. Okay, I think that was an additional. But I think there's so many questions. And we need to go undefeated in October to save our season. I agree. Yep. But again, we could do that, folks. We could really do that. There's a lot to be said about this. Oh boy. Let's make sure we go. Okay.
I was going to throw out one little, and I know we're sitting here talking about playoffs being 0-2. But this is kind of something that I think it's interesting. So we're at 11% chance right now at 0-2. But if we win next week, it goes to 25%.
Yeah.
And then if you win the next week, then you go to 22%. Wait, how does
do you have that up in front of you? Can you show that?
38%. Yeah. Let me try to zoom into this because for some reason this chart doesn't want to pull up.
Okay.
But let me try that again here for you. For some reason or another, it does not want to pull up. Here you go. I think I got it here for you.
Can we sign a petition to fire Staley? You know, it's there's a lot. I mean, we've talked so much about all this, right? I mean, it's really interesting. It's too fun to speculate, but 2-0 is not the season. 3-0 is not the season. Probably the season. This is a good point. 0-2 not the season. 0-3 is not the season. 0-4 is probably the season.
Yep.
And I think that is a great comment because you have to remember that at that point we would have lost 6 games in a row. 6 games in a row with an extremely expensive offense and defense. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is not. The more losses that we have right now at this point, we're going to basically look. It's not going to get easier for us, guys.
Yeah, and so it was time of possession and third down conversions was where we struggled. And again, that's on the offense as well too. But again, the defense wasn't great either, right? So, all
right, here we go. I'm going to pull this up right now.
Great, and this is a good comment from Aether. If the coach gets fired, do you believe Moore will save the season? I don't think so. He can't handle their offense. But here's the argument against that, Aether. I would say this: you could bring in a defensive-minded. Just someone to bring it in completely different. Why don't you hit Control Alt and then blow that up a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do right now.
Anyways, that's fine. So, but again, Aether, to your point, right? That's a little difficult to do, right? And so, it is something that he probably won't save the season, but it will give us a good opportunity to make a decision on what to do with us next year going forward. And this is a weird thing. I have no idea why Spiller hasn't been out there. It makes no sense. I get a little confused on it.
It's so
but
odd.
Apparently they're seeing something, and it's really odd. I think you're gonna see it. Guys, we're gonna track and monitor all of this, folks. Just so you know, we wake up and we look at all this stuff. We put everything on YouTube, on Instagram. It is constantly something we're taking a look up. So, anyways, go ahead and throw this out there, James.
So this is basically the win-loss. So wins on this side, losses on this side. I'm just going to emphasize where we're at in the season right now. So basically this chart right now is saying that we have a give or take 0-2 at 10% chance right now. And this is basically historical data over multiple decades pretty much. So next week we got to win. You got to be able to start getting to that point. Obviously winning cures all. I couldn't sleep last night because I'm worried about this game. And guess what? We end up losing this game. So I need to find a win so I can calm down a little bit for once. So the thing is, though, if we go 2-2, we're going to be right in the thick of things at that point. But we're going to go against the Vikings' desperate 0-2 team just as much as us in their house. And then we're going to play the Raiders at home in SoFi, which apparently Kyle was saying that we've beat every single time they've gone to SoFi. So that's something that helps us out. So as a positive, guys, there's a chance next week is going to be a big game for us. Massive, massive game for us. So keep that in mind. Next week is going to be big, 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 big for us.
Yeah, the weird thing is we only had 2 sacks this game against us? 3. 3 sacks. Yeah, 3 sacks. Yeah. So, Herbert does a very good job of navigating the pocket. I think the offensive line did a great job. But you got to remember, they are one of the best front 7 in the freaking league, folks. They really do. So, look, we could be the best 0-2 team ever in the world. I mean, think how many points we scored. We scored 34 and 24. That's around 28 points a game. That's amazing, right? It's amazing, right? So
that's great.
I mean, but why the freak are we giving up so much? It is what it is.
But in the same vein, we're probably giving up about the same amount of points too, on average.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of it.
That's the defense.
That's the defense at that point. What was it? The amount of, and I think it was a stat where basically the amount of points that Justin Herbert's been the quarterback to the amount of points that the defense has given up is almost 500. Like it's literally at the same level. What does that mean? Well, that means you're going to get a lot of these close games. There's got to not be a lot of those games where you could just simply just walk in and just destroy and dismantle the team. We got to find a way, this defense, to find a way to slow them down and not allow them to score.
Yeah. And we're not playing team defense either. The Titans play very good team defense. I for whatever reason, I don't disagree with the argument that we need to find something different on defense. And I don't know what it is, and I don't know why we're playing the way we are. People just don't seem to understand where to be or where to go or anything. QJ is in the game for a few plays. I think last week he was used 20% of the time. I'm very curious to see how many snaps he gets this week. Guys, I'm in a weird way, I'm kind of excited to see how bad or how awful this week is. Because I'm very curious. This could turn into an absolute shit show disaster, like some sort of a Real Housewives of freaking LA, fuck you, you're an asshole, you're a bitch, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like all this weird stuff. I mean, it could get pretty ugly pretty quick, guys. I mean, what about Tom Tabasco? Yeah. Look, how many years has it been our GM?
It's over 10 years.
My argument will be this. I think we've done a good job of drafting well. What we're having a problem is coaching. And Telesco is definitely on the hot seat. We are definitely on the hot seat. We should have beat the hell out of these guys. I truly believe it. I remember at the beginning of this game, I was like, we were killing them. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
I know. I'm reading your comments, guys. Boy, this is this is great. You'll appreciate this, James. We're playing like the Padres. Good God. Hey, I gotta
exactly.
Wait, there we go.
That's right there. Yeah.
I'm a Padre fan. Brooks. I should be doing a copious amounts of drugs at this point with how bad our seasons are going.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not good. I mean, again, we got so much talent and just underperforming. It's odd. So odd.
Yeah, and then J.C. Jackson's been a horrible pickup. And again, remember, that was Brandon Staley's boy. He brought him in to do a lot of things, and he didn't do it. Oh, my God. I'm at the first comment from Jason Ramirez. Oh, my goodness. Folks, we got a long ways to go during these comments. I'm trying to get through these guys. Wow. Okay. Oh, boy. Play the starters in preseason. See, this is a good point. James, you want to talk about this? This play the starters in preseason. Again, I'm a believer of not playing the starters, but I can understand the argument. To me, I just feel like that's where you hurt people. People get hurt, but again, it does make sense. I mean, you got a new offense, and you basically want to be able to try to find a way to be able to shake off last season. I think just putting a little bit of time on field in game makes a big difference, and especially just to try to do little things that you could bring in real footage versus being on a practice field. Practice field's different. Yeah, correct.
Practice field, you ain't hitting anybody. Your teammates aren't really hitting yourself, hitting your, coworker per se. It's different being on field where a guy wants to make a play and hit you. And I get it. You don't want to be able to get injured in anything, but what's a healthy team that's not going to be cohesive coming into the season? It doesn't mean it make any difference at that point. Like, you need to have a team that's healthy that is going to actually be cohesive and ready to go and rip and roar. Like you could go to the Jaguar game today for the Chiefs. That game was a tough game, and the Chiefs found a way to gut it out. And it wasn't a high scoring game. I think it was 16-7, I believe it was. Really, really low scoring game, but you find a way to gut it out. And this team is just lacking the ability to find a way to gut it out. They find ways to make bad mistakes at the wrong time. One thing I'm really interested about this team, I'm interested to see some players start chirping, like start talking a little bit more and start.
Well, Derwin did last week.
Yeah.
Everyone kept saying we're pissed. Yep. And I what are they going to be this week? All right. So this is good. Surely I hope the money didn't get to Herbert. Don't get me wrong. I love Herbert, but 2 drives where Herbert and offense they could have won the game. They should have won the game.
Yep. That's where quarterbacks make money. And technically, my mantra is field goals don't win games. You got to score touchdowns to win games. You just got to do it. And going for that field goal at the end, we should have found a way to be able to get a touchdown. I think we need to be better at just not taking field goals. 3 points don't do a lot, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. And by the way, this bash roughing the passer thing was complete garbage. I was so pissed off on that.
That was whack. I
was like, yo, dude, that was not a roughing the passer. But again, no.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, folks, if anything, it's not the season. You're right.
No.
But we do need to start turning it on.
You need to get that monkey off your back, because right now we're in an 0-14 right now. We're an 0-4 team.
Yeah, this would happen in my opinion if we really let's say we're winless going into the bye week on week 5, then that will probably happen. And that would be a very weird change, but holy smokes. That moment, I think you'd have to sit Derek Ainsley down and say, Ainsley, take over, see what you can do. But again, that would be my prediction. I think they're going to go with him for a while and go from there.
Chris de Guzman just put, and once again, it's going to be very far down from what you're looking at with all the comments, but basically said, hey, the Bengals are 0-2 right now too. You know, this is an interesting season and how it's shaking up, because there's still, once again, Chiefs are 1-1, Bills 1-1, Raiders 1-1. I think Raiders are eventually just going to go down to the bottom basement where they deserve to be. But, there is a lot of good teams that are just struggling to get momentum going. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this Dolphins game goes against the Patriots. Like, I think it's a big game for both of those teams. Actually, side note, I'm going to say on the record right now, this is the first time that Brandon Staley's been under 2 games under 500 in his career as a coach.
In its entire career. Good point.
First time that he's been able to go 0-2 or 2 games under 500. So let's see how he rebounds off of this. You think that he's going to bring hell and brimstone next week to the Vikings, but we will see. We will see, guys.
And Eckler should be back next week, is what I'm reading. I've been reading that a lot. I think he probably could have maybe gone this week. I think they said, but I think they took 1 week off. So anyways, be interesting to see what happens with him. Are we going to give him a contract? Who knows? Defense is liability. Okay, they know it. Yeah, of course. The whole league knows it. Aether, how many times are you going to keep asking your defense to stop when your defense is not doing anything? Exactly. I mean, and again, that's it's not just players, guys. At this point, it's coaching, right? You start seeing a trend. Why is he, making these weird? I don't know. People just are not where they need to be. Defense wins championships. Look at the Steelers. Look at these other organizations. They have a very good, smash that like button and subscribe, folks.
Yep. It is wild. Somebody kind of said in the comments, he said, hey, the Giants are getting beat right now. Cardinals are beating them 17-0. Are the Giants going to score a point this year? Are the Giants going to score once this year? Like, what is going on here? Jeez. Wow. And remember that, guys. Their head coach, Brian Dable, that was one of the guys that everybody kept saying, hey, we need him on our team.
Yeah.
If he struggles right now, guys, whoa, boy, here we go.
Yeah, Marcus, you're right. Now, again, it's the thing that I love about football in general is it's such a team sport, right? You can't just blame it on one person. It's not just Herbert. Okay, it's not Herbert.
No, not Herbert.
It is the entire team. It's the offensive line has to do the job. The wide receivers have to get open. Everything has to go the right direction for you to work. Dude, next week is going to be a crazy game, guys. Playing the Vikings. Okay.
In Minnesota,
guys. Now, I'll say this. We lose that game, I will not be flying out to SoFi. I will be sitting at home. I have COVID.
Yeah.
Hey, Delta, sorry, I got COVID. I can't get on a plane. My bad. Oh, that sucks.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ain't going to that
and again,
one, man.
I really think we should have attempted a few more deep plays. And guys, I'll say this. I don't know why we're not throwing to QJ, dude, that guy's got leaps. Now, again, I will say Justin Herbert knows Allen and Williams better. So this is hilarious. Is Norv Turner still running the offense?
Yeah.
Freaking Norv, dude. Oh, my God. What a funny name, Norv. What does that even mean? That's a really weird name, right? I always thought that was a strange name.
I think his actual real name is like Norvell or something like that. Even still, that's an odd name anyways.
Norvell? Really?
Norvell,
That's so
yeah.
odd.
Pretty common. Pretty confident of that one.
Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. We're getting close. We're getting close to the bottom here, boy. Oh, by the way, that was totally not a roughing the passer penalty. That was ridiculous. Guys, it's become ridiculous. I kind of, Okay, this is a great question here. Guys, in the chat, what do you think? I am Sergio Mejia said this. Do you think Herbert still has confidence in Staley? It's a good question. What do you think, James?
This is how Justin Herbert generally responds to things. We'll go back and look at the tape. I think that we did some good things. I think we did some bad things. We'll find out what we did wrong. And, we got a good team. I love the coach. The coach does a good job. And, it's going to be good. Yeah, we'll get through it. And we'll work through it, guys. That's basically how he responds to almost dang near everything. And, he's never going to put a coach under the bus. And I think, once again, I don't think Justin Herbert, you can't blame everything on Justin Herbert. You can't blame a lot on a lot of other people, but you could blame on individuals in a team in a game that does something boneheaded that basically screws the game up. I love Derwin James. He's my man. But, that 3rd and 14 penalty where he basically targeted and helmet to helmet or whatever it might have been, that basically changed the game. That was the difference maker in the game. The bash penalty, that was, I think, BS. I don't think that was a penalty by any means. But I don't know, man. It's tough to watch, but I think he has plenty of confidence, and he'll probably say, in Justin Herbert terms, yeah, I got plenty of confidence within Brandon Staley. I believe in our coaching
he's
staff.
never going to throw his coach under the bus.
Never going to happen.
You don't
Never.
Kellen Moore is a very good offensive head coach. Now, the difference is that he is – guys, I'm telling you, it'd be really interesting to see what happens. Everyone's already talked about Kellen Moore being the successor for Brandon Staley. Everyone wanted him to be a head coach last year. And, yeah, he got fired only because the Cowboys needed to find a scapegoat for them not winning in the playoffs, right? So, Kellen Moore is a piece of crap and yada, yada. It was his fault. Okay, well, it is what it is. We're scoring quite a bit with this offense now. The offense is not the problem, folks. That's the truth. It's not the offense. It's the defense. And that's the truth. I mean, guys, 24 points should at least get you close to winning a game, and we were close.
100%.
34 points, you should win the freaking game, right? That is a defensive problem. So, anyways, again, we fire Brandon Staley. I don't know how many times I've seen that. Okay, that is embedded in my mind as I'm looking through the chat here, guys. Defensive genius, Nicholas. Yes, here we go. Defensive genius.
Yeah.
I love that show, by the way. It's a very funny show. Fire Brandon Staley. Wow, guys, here we go. We want to remove his head from his body. Is that what I'm hearing from you guys? Is that he wouldn't be alive if that happened, just so you guys know. Okay. So this was kind of interesting. I would have thought Justin would have ran a little more in this game. Yeah. I did think that would have happened a little bit more, but they did a good job of containing him in the pocket. There wasn't a whole lot in front of him to go. So they did a good job of,
containing.
They got a very good front seven, and they got the exact game they wanted. Remember that, folks. They got the exact game they wanted. They slowed the game down, time of possession. They made the game ugly. That's exactly what they wanted. They took the ball out of Herbert's hands. That's it. That's the whole story.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot that one thing that I was going to say about this game, actually, I should probably say that instead of stumbling around on my words, but last year the defense was different when we played against the Titans. Their defense was banged up, softer defense all around. They were in a very much a trajectory of downward spiral pretty much at that point. We basically have faltered. We got a healthier version of them last year. Remember last year, the Titans started 6-1, I believe it was, and ended up 8-9.
Fell down.
So we got them at the downward trajectory for them. And this time we get them into a point where they had to find a way to get a win. And we ended up losing to them this time.
Yeah. And Billy, yes, I'm surprised. I fully expected us to beat the shit out of everybody. I mean, really and truly, but again, we've scored well, right? It's just the defense has just played so horribly. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And Justin, good to see you, buddy. It's been a minute. So hit me up. We'll chat some more. Oh my God, guys, there's so many comments here. I am so sorry. I am trying. I can't read this fast. I'm not that smart. So, I mean, it's tough, right? I'm like reading through this. I'm like, oh my God.
Just grab grab some of the big comments, and then we'll go from there.
I know we're already way over an hour at this point. Again, the defense needs to do better. Okay, we're still trying here. One of the other things I will say too, as we keep going through this, and this was kind of true. We did throw to double coverage a few times. Again, Herbert, the one argument I will give on Herbert at this moment is he's gotten very used to being safe. If that makes any sense, right? Like very rarely is he ever throwing into double coverage. I would argue that doesn't happen very often. He always does the safe play. That's why Eckler got a lot of passes last season, because he's a very simple guy, and he could make a big play out of nothing. Anyways, I do think there's a lot to be said about that, right? But he hasn't taken many chances. I do feel like he needs to take more chances down the road. Sure.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I do think, and I was the entire game, I kept saying, why are we not attacking downfield? Why are we not doing it? And then we did it one drive. We ended up getting a touchdown. Attack the middle of the field. I mean, that's the whole thing that we're doing here. I mean, making boneheaded plays of 3rd and 4 and going and trying to run up the gut with one of the better defensive lines in the game.
Yep. Very good.
Not smart.
Yeah, and my prediction was 11-6, guys. I've always said 11-6. I thought we could go 12 going into the season, but I still stayed at 11-6. Aether, yes. Good question. I'm not ready to surrender yet. We can win next 3. Moore is doing too much. He is, right? And Brandon Staley needs to step up. Okay, maybe we should stop for a second and just give my opinion on what I think Brandon Staley should do. James, what do you think? And guys, in the questions below, what do you guys think? I think we're repeating each other over and over again on this, right? We're just kind of repeating the same thing. Fire Herbert, remove his head. I hate him. He has a small penis, whatever we want to say. My point is, Brandon Staley needs to simplify shit. Whatever the fuck he's doing, he's confusing people out there on the field. He's making it too hard for people to do things. I don't understand why. And again, my point is, you have quarters, like one side is quarters, the other side is, man, and things get a little confusing. So that's the problem. I truly believe people are just not knowing where they're supposed to be. What's your thoughts?
My thing is do what works. And the thing that was working was doing a lot of those Thule, Bosa, Mac line rushes on 3rd down and just end drives. Like, once again, he lost this game. This defense lost this game when we started playing soft on their 10th possession. And that's what led to a touchdown. We're playing Gus Bradley defense at that point. Put it in zone. Hey, just try to keep the guy in front of you. And that's all that you need to do. Well, any quarterback that's been in the league, Tannehill's been in the league, he's 35 years old. Well, he'll take what he could get and just keep moving the ball forward till he gets a touchdown or a field goal or whatever it is. It's just be aggressive, stay aggressive, put your foot on the gas, end the stupid game. It's so frustrating, man. And once again, Zarek right there, he says the explosive plays on D and the lifeless offense when it counted is just ugly to watch. Where's the high-flying offense that could rack up 40-plus 2 years ago? I think we got the offense. I think that there's some boneheaded calls, too. Young coaching staff still, once again, that's doing this right now. But I think the thing is that we got to put our foot on the gas and just keep going. We got to keep going.
Real Housewife Bolts edition. That's what we got going on here with the Bolt Bros as well, too. I think that's hilarious, man. Yeah, and again, J.C. Jackson wasn't the one getting burned. He did fine. He did all right. I mean, he wasn't great, but he did okay. There's a lot to be said. We got a lot to digest here, folks. We do, and I realize that's kind of what this is. This is kind of a bitch session. I get it, but again, remember one of the things. There's a lot to be said about it, but I really do think for whatever reason, defensively, we're just playing a bit soft. I think Brandon Staley needs to go back to the drawing board and play he needs to make it simple. I feel like people are confused on where they need to go.
Yeah.
That's what I keep seeing. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And Tom said the exact same. I'm tired of excuses. You're right. For whatever reason, Brandon Staley should just go back to quarters every damn play. Maybe pick 10 plays. We're doing 10 plays on defense. That's it. Here's our run stopping play. Here's our, high play, whatever. Dude, keep it simple, stupid, right? I feel like we gave Gus Bradley so much shit for doing cover 3 all the time. But it worked. He was always that guy that did well. He did fine. He did enough to stop the run and the pass, So it really interesting.
But we're not saying we want Gus Bradley back by any means.
No, not at all. Not at all. No, but I'm saying
I'll take Wade Phillips back. That guy was an absolute stud. I loved his defenses, and he won a Super Bowl with the Rams as a defensive coordinator. And I mean, currently, I think he's a GM and head coach for a XFL team. Yeah, I mean, he's an old guy, but hey, that guy knows defense, man. He does a great job with his defensive scheme. Aggressive.
So, by the way, so Nick, I want to see how the Patriots play Miami. I bring that up because I really think what they should have done is doubled Tyreek as much as they possibly can, a guy on him and a safety high, no matter what. You go wherever Tyreek goes, period. And blow him up. You hit him hard, just blow him up. He's a small guy. Yeah. You just beat the shit out of him left and right. Just beat him up and just make him think twice about going over the middle. But the Chargers, they're not hitting people hard. Jefferson's the same way. He's a great guy. Double him up. Put a guy on him and another high safety on Jefferson. But then you also got Addison as well, too. Yep. Now, I would say this about Zion Johnson. Zion Johnson, that was a little interesting the way he played. He didn't have the best game. But remember, they have a very good interior defense, right? So, look, their front seven beat us out a little bit, right? So, very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, we were very bad on third down. Very bad on third down. Oh my God, guys!
There
are so many comments here, guys.
I mean, that stat alone of just, you can't win games when you're basically 2-14 on third down. That's lands solely on Moore shoulders for sure. Now, fourth down efficiency, great. 3-3, great. But at the same side, 2-14 on third downs. You can't win games that way, guys.
You can't. It's just, look, again, I've said this over again. I don't want to, in fact, let me think through this a little bit. I want to do a video on this week. I might even break down some footage. I might try and do some stuff. There's a lot that I shared on last video. Week.
You should do the last thoughts video for tomorrow. Just to
maybe I will.
So I think you got a lot more going through your mind on this one, but I mean, I'm bewildered at this team, guys. Like I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, I don't understand how we're doing this right now. I don't understand how we're finding interesting ways to lose games. Somebody just put in HH4, put Kelly 13 carries, 39 yards. We were one-dimensional at that point. Yeah, we don't have that run game. Now, it's odd to see that I know Austin Eckler was out of this game. Would it made it any difference? I don't really know. This is one of the better defensive lines in the league. Last week we were against one of the better offensive teams in the league. Strong D-line too, but we ended up finding a way to run on them pretty heavily. It's just odd. You think one thing is stronger and then the other thing becomes weaker kind of thing. It's like focus on everything. It's almost like a full body workout that you need to work on versus just like, hey, I'm going to work on my arms only right now. And then I'm going to be stronger on my arms, but my legs are chicken legs kind of thing. So, odd analogy there, but
yeah. And surely I have not seen it yet. I need to see that right now. About Staley's press conference, that would probably piss him off for sure. Popper's been throwing out some pretty, he has been kicking Staley in the balls, guys. But I think he's asking the right questions that fans want to know, which I think good on him. I really think that's a good thing. But it's tough, right? It is hard. It is hard to win in the NFL. I do not disagree with his statement. He says over and over again. But again, I think if Staley was my friend, I would call him up and say, would you keep it simple, stupid? James, you and I are both in sales. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing you learn in sales? Kiss. Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. Do not overcomplicate things. I feel like we're overcomplicating way too much on the defensive side of the ball. Keep it simple, man. So, here we go. Titans fan here. Okay, we got a Titans fan here. What do we say? Titans offense was way better today than last week. It wasn't like the Chargers played bad. And I don't disagree with you. Agreed. I don't disagree with you. Plasma Warrior, good to see you.
They made the plays when it was needed. That's pure and simple. I mean, the thing about it is we Chargers, I act like I'm on the team playing out there or what, not saying we, but the thing about it is like they were beaten down. We had Tannehill beat up, and he looked like Tannehill from last week. He was getting rushed. Once again, going back to the whole thing, keep your foot on the gas. And I feel like Brandon Staley found a way to be able to kind of take his foot off the gas and just kind of let it ease up a little bit. Tannehill was beat up. And he did not look like he was going to be able to do much in this game. I even said in text messages, like, well, at this rate, Tannehill is going to have under 100 yards passing in this game. Well, what did he do shortly after that? Sent a 70-yard bomb to Burks, basically. And that changed the game at that point. You made big plays to be able to get his head right, and it changed the entire game at that point.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. Oh, my God, Robert, amazing comments. Taylor reminds me of that ex-wife trying to stick around for as long as possible with the BS excuses. Oh, my God, that's amazing. I love it.
Funny.
That is funny. Great. We're watching the mental destruction of Herbert. Boy. Yeah. I think Zion Johnson's fantastic. Dude, by the way, he had an amazing week 1. Dude, he crushed it week 1. He did great. Look, but this is a great point, Anthony. Good football teams finish, right? Just like my dating life, I always finish. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's a knucklehead.
Anyways, hey, but here we go. Okay, we'll have Kirk Cousins next week. Yes. Let's go Bolts. Aether says, I want Harbaugh as the new head coach. Wow, give him what he wants. Damn, Aether, you're throwing that out there now, huh? I thought that's a big Staley guy.
He's a Michigan guy. Oh,
that's a good point. That's right. Yeah, Michigan. I forgot about that. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Good point. All right, guys. I think we got it here. Woo, boy. Lots to discuss, folks.
Lots.
Boy. Look,
we will be doing either Andrew and I will be doing a last thoughts on this game. I'm probably going to watch a replay of it too and everything, but there's a lot to digest from it, guys. Next week's game is big. It is big to be able to be say, like, this is a big game. We understand it's 17 games, guys. Like, I guess I'm going to give you my last thoughts here.
Okay.
There's 17 games in the season. We've lost 2 of those. There's 15 games ahead of us still. A lot could happen in 15 games. There's a lot of 1-1 teams. There's the Chargers right now at 0-2. There's the Vikings that are 0-2. There is the Bengals at 0-2. These are all playoff-based teams and division-winning-based teams from last year outside of the Chargers. There's a lot of seasons still to be played, but this ship has to get righted real quick, because it could start tumbling and becoming an issue. Remember, we have a week 5 bye. We have only 2 more games till we hit our bye week.
Yeah, which is not good.
Not good, guys. I mean, you could look at it as like, we need to find momentum. We need to find 2 wins. If we could get 2 wins, please beat the Raiders. Let's please just start in front of the Vikings right now and be able to find a win against them first off, just to get momentum. If we go 0-4 into the bye week, man, it's a tough road ahead. The year that we went to the Super Bowl, didn't we start like 1-4? I think something like that. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we didn't start well. No, we didn't start well.
So that's a tough hill to climb, guys. At that point, I think we ended up as 10-6, 11-5. I don't know, something that season. That's a tough hill to climb. There's not a lot of room for error at that point. So, guys, we understand what's in front of us. We understand what's in front of this team. They know what's in front of them. We got to get right. Right. And we're not far off. We're just making boneheaded mistakes.
Yeah, boneheaded mistakes is the right word. Look, bottom line, the seat is getting hotter for Staley. I'll say that. But look, folks, we've said it all. We've said a lot. We're an hour and a half into this. This is a therapy session. We should be charging by the hour, James. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, this is great. You guys are all going to get bills in the mail, okay? You're all going to get bills in the mail.
Yeah, hit me up on my Venmo. Let's go.
Look, I mean, bottom line, again, I really think Brandon Staley needs to simplify the defense. I feel like for whatever reason, what they're doing defensively right now is just confusing each other. They're not passing each other off correctly. Are they in quarters? Are they in zone? Are they in man? And again, you're right. The loss is not on Herbert. You know, he did great. He was fine. It was the defense, right? You know, but bottom line, I think, you know, Brandon Staley needs to figure things out. I think he just needs to make things real. If I was him, I would pull the defense aside and say, guys, we are going very basic very basic defense. We are doing 20 plays, something like that, right? Keeping it real simple and just simplifying everything. You need to know where you go, and we're going to worry about execution, and that is it. That's all they're going to focus on.
Yep.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
That's how I would do it. But again, folks, there's going to a lot more to come. We're going to, you know, get some videos out for you guys as well. And yeah, lot to discuss, folks. Lots to discuss,
man. And you know, HH4 made a pretty good comment on there too, and he's definitely one of the most critical guys that jumps on our show most of the time and kind of pulls out some of the band-aids and rips the band-aids off a little bit. But he did talk about that. You know, Justin Herbert didn't find ways to end this game, and I mean, if you look at it, I think our Chargers fifth possession, sack midfield, punt by JK. We should have probably went for it on 4th down at that point. Next possession, we ended up getting a touchdown, and then it became this like 3-and-out fest there for a second. We just couldn't figure something out. And was that on Herbert or was that on Moore for the play call? I don't know. But there's a lot that this team needs to be able to grow on a little bit, and they need to grow up fast this week. So,
yep.
But winning cures all. I'll say that. Winning cures all, guys.
100%, folks. 100%. All right, guys. Well, we're the Boat Bros. More to come. We'll talk more. I'll throw stats out there. You guys will see it. We'll put a bunch of material on YouTube. But, guys, check us out on Instagram as well, too, folks. Again, Boat Bros Podcast on YouTube and Instagram. We are both there. So, all righty. I'll hit the button, and we will go from there.
Sounds good. Let's get out of here. Boat Bros. Let's
go.